fighting against each other at Stunfest 2015, where Daigo basically did one of the most insane combos that you probably ever seen in Street Fighter 4. Where he did that to Momochi. And funnily enough, and I'm gonna have it playing on the screen, but funnily enough, right after Daigo did that, everybody in the building like, Daigo, and Momochi didn't flinch. As soon as the next round started, Momochi ran up on Daigo and beat his face in. And I'm just like, this different. Like, because anybody else would have been in there like, he took my soul. And would have let Daigo just run through him. Momochi was just like, that was a nice combo. And then proceeded to just put his face in the flow like Daigo forgot how to play the game. But so somebody basically said, like, they had a hot take that was actually crazier than EVO Moment 37. Now everybody knows EVO Moment 37. I don't even think if you've ever heard the word Street Fighter in your life, you've probably seen a clip of EVO Moment 37 somewhere. Like, it's just beyond popular. So, what do you guys believe? Do you believe that was actually crazier than Evo Moment 37, or do you believe, my guy just chatting? So, starting with you, Mr. Gamer.
I'm how to be honest, man. I've said it before on the podcast. Like, that was a dope moment. I remember, and I watched it live. Like, I was like, man, this dude is, because I mean, at the time, the Eva Ryu loops were like, the axe kick loops were like, man, this is the thing with Eva Ryu. And it was always dope to see. Of course, it was hard, bunch of one frame links and stuff in there. And just to see him do that, like, so effortlessly just in a match. I mean, there's pressures on playing another one of the greatest players, in the world in Street Fighter. And he just ended the match off. He had that DP, and then like as Momochi woke up, he DP'd. He couldn't do nothing about it and took that round. So the execution is super high on that. But man, like 37, you can't practice that. You just can't. Like, he even said, like, he literally just went into like this Zen mode. Like, you can't practice that. You can't know, like, oh, I'm going to parry the super, then I'm gonna jump up and parry the last hit of Chun-Li's kick. I'm gonna go crouching forward, DP in the super. Like, you just can't. You can practice that combo in Street Fighter 4. It's hard, yes, but if you able to like get yourself to a point where your nerves on his back in a match, right? And I mean, Daigo's he's played fighting games for so long. I'm pretty sure at the point where he's kind of like, okay, he's able to like assess his nerves, like kind of calm himself down and just focus on, okay, I got the hit. All right, now let's go back into switching to training mode and execute. But 37, you can't practice that. You can't practice like your opponent's about to super you. You got
They
no
do it
life
all the time now.
I mean, yeah, but like back then, like just like in the fact of like knowing like what are they gonna do? I didn't know he was gonna do that. Oh, he did a super, and to be able to just like parry that off the rip, and not just like parry the first hit, he parried the entire super, and then jumped it like, bro, like he turned into a robot. So
Then
to
you
me
have to know
personally,
the exact hits too. I would have forgot how many kicks you would have did before the jump and messed it up.
exactly. It's like if they're like, wait, how many kicks does he do? And like, it's the time. It's like, yeah, I just think that both are really good moments, and it seems like Daigo was always in like some type of crazy moment that's like go down in history, in fighting game history. But even like again, I remember he has 3 moments. That moment, I think it was Seasons Beatings, I believe, or either Summer Jam versus Arturo. And Arturo threw out a stand heavy punch from full screen with Dawson. And this man did crouching fierce super. I'm like, man, come on, bro. Like, man, it's Daigo, bro. Daigo.
You can't tell me Daigo ain't been behind the scenes helping these people make these games. He's constantly doing something that is like, who would know to do this? Who would know to do this? Like, nobody would have known to do that to Dawson. Just like,
yeah, like I had never seen that before, ever. And then he was just like, oh, you threw out a stand heavy punch? I was just whiff punish it into it. And he knew what strength fireball for the super to use, because it's like if you use light punch, it goes slower. So I think he did like the heavy punch version. So he like was able to in that moment realize, okay, I gotta do this version to get there. So for me, 37, man, I it's just you. What's your boy from wrestling trail, and you can't teach that. So that's
who was the one who said that?
Is it Will Ospreay? What's his name? Who is it? I
I'm about to
forgot. I'm
look
not
it
a
up.
big
I
wrestling
forgot
guy,
his
but
name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
bad news. I don't know. I'm not a big wrestling guy, but I do know that line. And you can't teach that. So that's my take on that. 37 for me, baby. EVO Moment
Enzo
37.
Amore.
That's the guy. I know it's one of them wrestling dudes.
But fun fact, EVO Moment 37, the reason why they called it EVO Moment 37 was just for marketing purposes. He basically said, I called it Moment 37 because it makes it seem like this happens all the time. It was crazy. I always thought it was like some deep meaning, but no, that's just what it was. It was a marketing ploy.
I got more on that later.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, right out the gate, I'm just gonna have to go Evo Moment 37. I mean, it was really a cool. I mean, watching like that combo Evil Ryu is really cool. It is, but you got to consider the context and like the of like Evo Moment 37. It's not like he was at full health when he did that. Like that was a situation that if you miss time if you miss time that you're dead. Like basically you're gonna die. Like there's not there you got to make the play. You're either gonna sit there, you're gonna have to either end up blocking that, or you're gonna have to parry it or something, because there's no way that you're gonna have to. You can't just sit there and do nothing, right? And the fact that he even went for the parry in the first place is kind of like, wow, dude, I can't believe you even did that. Like that's insane. I mean, and the fact is that I mean, it's like like you said, like Rexon said, like people just know that by virtue of they just associate that with like Street Fighter fighting games in general. Like that is a well-known moment. Like I feel like it's one of those things where you're kind of like your back is kind of up against the wall and you're just kind of like, oh man, like I gotta do something fantastic here. And like Mr. Game Lift was saying, it's like you can't practice that, man. Like that's a real. I mean, how do you? I don't even know how you get prepared for something like that. How he even like thought to do that, because that would not have been my response. I would have been like, "Oh man, my immediate like lizard brain would have told me to just block." I'm just like, I'm gonna just block and then hope that it works out in the end, man. Because I would definitely I never would have taken the risk of parrying that, dude. Like, I mean, and I mean, like the thing is, like the execution with Evil Ryu is pristine, bro. It is pristine, but it's kind of like he has a full health bar, bro. Like you have a full health bar and you're just like steamrolling. You're just steamrolling this guy, and then you got him in a corner, and then like the round is over, and then like and it's not like you got into his head after that or anything like that. It kind of came back and started giving you the business, but like it's you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, it like Evo Moment 37 was kind of the punctuation mark, like the exclamation point at the end of the sentence. It's like, all right, that match is done, right? Like it's over. That match is over with. You won the match. But like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just such a hype moment. I mean, like watching him do that combo with Evil Ryu is great. It's awesome. But it's just, in my mind, just not as hype as Evo Moment 37.
All right, well, it's time for a real one to talk, since now they over here just saying anything. When it comes to I guess it really just all depends on what's your flavor. Tell me what's your flavor. It really all depends. You have some people that when it comes to fighting games, they're like combo heads. They're just when it comes to combos, execution, things like that, they just love that the most. So you can kind of see if somebody comes at fighting games from that aspect, why they would probably say what happened at Stunfest with Daigo and Momochi is probably better than Evo Moment 37, because I mean, for him to do that combo in tournament, and that was grand final, so the tension's at the highest. They're basically in an arena and that stuff is happening. Like, it was magical. I mean, so you can see why somebody would probably look at that and be like, oh my goodness, this is better than Evo Moment 37. But the thing that kind of, makes me lean more towards Evo Moment 37, I hate to agree with both of them, but it's just Evo Moment 37 is almost like universal language. It's like you can look at that and it's like it's speaking everybody's language. Like if I showed somebody a clip of what happened at Stunfest, they'd be like, "Dang, he beating the mess out this dude." But it's like that doesn't tell you exactly what makes that moment so special. It doesn't tell you like Daigo did like 51 frame links to get that to happen. It doesn't tell you like how difficult it is to, do EVO Ryu combos in general. It doesn't tell you the story of Street Fighter 4 and why we think it's like one of the most amazing games ever. But when you look at EVO Moment 37, and you can obviously see like, okay, it's starting from the beginning of EVO Moment 37, where they usually start the clip. You can tell like it's a tense situation. Everybody's walking back and forth. It's like everybody's trying to figure out what's gonna happen, what they're gonna do. So it's like you can feel the tension already. Then it's like you look at the health bars and it's like, okay, this dude basically almost like at a pixel of life. Like, so he's trying to figure out how he's gonna get up out of here. And then next thing you know, Chun-Li does a move. Now you can automatically just look at when somebody does a super, it's like, okay, that's her special move. So she's doing her special move against them, and then next thing you know, she runs up and then he's like parrying all of it. Like, so every fighting is universal language, So EVO Moment 37 is like something that's like simple enough to where it's like anybody could look at that and anybody could see how amazing that is. Like anybody could just see like how crazy that was. Anybody could understand why the crowd got up and roared. But if you looked at the Stunfest video when the crowd was roaring, you'd be like, dang, he beat the mess out of them. But why are they screaming like that? I feel like EVO Moment 37 is more like, is palpable the right word? I don't know, but it's just easier to understand. It's like universal, like that. That's a clip that you could show anybody of why fighting games were cool, and they'd be like, "Dang, y'all doing stuff like that." Stunfest is more so like what you show like a fighting game enthusiast already, and be like, "Man, did you see what Daigo just did this weekend?" And they get it. They'd be like, "Dang, he did that to him." But I feel like if I could show my grandma EVO Moment 37, and she'd be like, "That's crazy." Like she'd be like,
playing Nintendo.
yeah, like my grandma just be like, "Oh, he let that man hit him at all," like she get it, but she wouldn't be able to get like truly like what Evo doing. I mean, what Daigo's doing in the Stunfest combo. So that's why I lean more towards EVO Moment 37. It's just I think the combo and the execution and what he did was cooler at Stunfest, but it's just the situation and just how it speaks universal language for me is just why it's such a bigger thing and it's crazier. Anybody else got anything to add?
So also EVO Moment 37 is way more demoralizing than the Stunfest combo. When I get hit, if I get hit, I mean, I play Marvel. I get hit by Infinites. I've been playing Marvel 2 recently. I've been getting hit by some absurd stuff, and I've been hitting people with absurd stuff. So I don't. It's like, okay, I'm getting hit once they drop it or I die. Okay, on to the next. But when you pull out something like that and they just like nullify everything you're doing, that's more demoralizing. Because I'm sure Justin Wong was like Daigo couldn't block because he was going to die from chip damage. He had no option but to, that's the other thing. That was his only option. There was no like, oh, I got 3 options. I'm gonna do. No, he had one option, and that was to parry, but he was gonna die. He couldn't DP, I don't think, because I'm pretty sure he either would have traded or the invincibility probably from the super, I believe, probably would have beat out the DP. One of those two. They probably would have traded. He had no other option, I believe, but to parry. So that's nothing. There's one shot. What Eminem say? You only got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. He must have been listening to that song as he was playing Justin Wong because he had that was the only option, and he flawlessly executed it. Something you can't just really practice like that. A scenario you just can't be. Oh, I've seen this hundreds of times before. Like you can't be like Daigo. Oh man, he gonna do super. Oh, I done this before. Like no, and Justin was probably like, really, bro. You really? Like he probably would have been like, he might parry half of it, but he ain't gonna parry. Wait, hold up. He parried the whole thing. Oh, well, he ain't gonna miss. He gonna miss the kick when she go up in the air. He has audacity to jump in the air and parry like.
And then, he did it with style too, because he didn't have to jump up and do it.
Yeah,
he didn't have to.
He didn't land on the ground, and that was also if I'm not mistaken, I think this whole route was probably as optimal as it could be, because he jumped to get the extra jump kick on the way down into the crouching. Like,
that's why I say it's like the dude had to made the game. Like, it's no way you thinking of all that on the fly, because it's like in the midst of parrying the kicks and you're trying to survive that, he's thinking like, okay, for the optimum kill him after this, I'm gonna jump, parry the up kick, and I know that'll work because I remember the up kick. Parry, come down and do his stuff. It's like, you can't tell me you didn't produce this, bro. Like, you not thinking of all this on the fly. Like, any other player would have been like, man, like anybody else, it would have been him just parrying the super and then after that backing up like, oh my goodness, I survived. You know, anybody else would have it would have went on. Man, Justin, Justin, I know when that happened to Justin, he was like, I ain't winning this tournament this weekend. Like, that's it. Like, that's the sign. Like, even if I win this match, I ain't winning this tournament this weekend. Like, he just took all the gas out the tank for me.
And that's the crazy thing. Like, Justin still won that match, but it was just like, he was probably like, man, woo.
People think Daigo won that tournament.
Like, it's just
like, obviously he won because he did that. How can he lose after that?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's one thing for the beginning. I know a lot of people don't like getting combo. They don't like being in the infinites. People play Marvels like, man, you got me in the infinite in the air. It's like, if you play those games enough, you know that's just what it is. You don't really care.
Yeah.
But for somebody to just fully nullify your offensive assault, to just and like, it's just so specifically in a moment where when you're clearly in the lead, they're just like, I don't care about none of that. All right, pair this and you gonna get out of here. Take this L. I don't know. And also, I don't know if other people, for y'all out there, listeners and stuff, I want y'all to tell me, I've experienced this phenomenon. To me, EVO Moment 37 has become like this force of, it's like, it's beyond the moment. I have had 37 seconds on the clock in so many times in so many fighting games. It's ridiculous, especially Street Fighter. And I was like, what is I started noticing it. Like, I'm playing fighting games and most of the time it ends on 37 seconds. I'm like, this is like some deep level stuff, man. I'm like, bro, does EVO Moment 37 like go beyond, even further beyond? And I promise, somebody else let me know, because I promise you, I wish I had the clips to show y'all how many times I played a fighting game and the round ended on 37 seconds. Like, this is like a common occurrence. Like, this is a common occurrence. I'm like, man, EVO, that moment was like transcendent.